Welcome back to Not My Ghost, Not My Problem. I'm Jen.
I'm Kelly.
And I'm Emily.
Today, we're doing something a little different and a lot more personal. Instead of exploring a haunted location from history, we're talking about a house our own family lived in. A house where strange things happened often because it had a few ghosts of its own. But for my daughter Emily, the experiences didn't always stay inside those walls. And over time, it started to feel like the house had its spirits, and Emily might have had one too. In this episode, Emily joins us to talk about what it was like growing up in a home where the unexplained felt normal and what it's like to look back on moments that still don't quite make sense. So grab your curiosity and maybe keep a light on nearby, because sometimes the scariest part of a haunting isn't the place. It's the possibility that something followed you out when you left. Welcome, Emily, to the podcast.
Hi, Emily.
Hello. As you all know, Jen has been in part of my family for years, so obviously she knows Emily.
Yeah.
The first time Jen...
Yeah, I watched this girl hula hoop for over an hour at one point.
Yep.
Yeah. And we'd make you play like pet and owner with us, where you'd tell us to go to bed on a dog bed all the time.
Yep.
Right?
Remember when you guys used to draw tattoos on my arm? Yeah, with markers.
Mm-hmm. At one point, the girls were in their bedroom, and we decided to play drunk hide and seek, and then you ran in and hid in their closet.
Didn't just hide in our closet. Our closet didn't have a door. You burst in the middle of the night to us, because we were little. Burst in, go and stand in our open closet, and put a box over your head, and said, shh.
How drunk was I? Because I do not remember this. It sounds like something I would do, but I don't have memory of this event.
You guys weren't sleeping, though. You guys were you were awake in the bedroom.
I don't know. It was like late, where we were probably up when we weren't supposed to be on our laptops and stuff. And then, so we probably were meant to be asleep, but weren't.
Yeah. Do you remember the drunk Harry Potter readings? When Jen would get drunk and read Harry Potter in a British accent?
Yeah, that was around the same time, I believe.
Yeah, it really was. It was. I think we have a picture of Katie with like a Mike's Hard lemonade bottle.
She like started to fall asleep on like the corner of your the sectional, and like I think we like put the Mike's Hard lemonade bottle and our empty one in her hand, and we have a picture of that and some probably inappropriate caption of like partying too hard at the evens or something.
Yeah, probably something like that.
Which is funny because she like doesn't really drink at all.
It's impossible to get her to even taste alcohol half the time.
Oh, that's the reason. It's that picture. We traumatized her.
That's right. So welcome to our scripted, unscripted banter.
Yes, welcome.
You get to be a part of it.
I'm so glad.
So this is where we just do what we just did and shoot the shit.
Yeah.
I do have a question.
Okay.
What is the weirdest dream you remember having as a kid?
Oh. I think for me, and I still have this occasionally now, but where I have like a reoccurring dream where my teeth fall out. And I know I've told you that before, Kelly, when you lost your tooth. Yeah, it's a terrifying nightmare that my teeth are going to fall out. And I've had that dream since as long as I can remember.
How about you?
Probably because I was very prone to sleep paralysis as a kid. And I remember laying on your bed and there being like an old woman standing at the end of it, but like I couldn't move, and I just like saw her creepily, like she just slowly walked towards me, and she just touched my forehead, and then it was like I blinked and I woke up, but like it was like I blinked and she was gone. I was like, was that real?
So it's a creepy old woman like a witch?
Yeah,
it might have been Grammy.
Oh no. No, not quite that hag-like.
Oh, okay.
So we're not talking about the boo hag here, Kelly.
That's right.
Which we decided
you have to listen to the boo hag episode, because we decided that the boo hag is Grammy and also Donald Trump.
Okay.
Yeah.
For me, I used to have this reoccurring nightmare that, okay, This isn't the nightmare part. My dad actually did this. So we would go stay at a resort called Massanutten in the mountains. And my dad would go to the top of the mountain in his truck, and he had a manual. So he would put it in neutral and he would coast, fly down that mountain, coasting and like steering. And he was drunk while he was doing it.
I was
Okay.
gonna ask, and that tracks.
It was terrifying, but yet I was young, so it was still kind of fun.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But then I started having these reoccurring nightmares that I was in the back seat and my parents were in the front, and then we'd be coasting down and my parents would disappear. And then nobody was like steering the truck. Very, I think.
So hold on, Kelly. Are you saying that nobody was steering the ship?
Nobody was steering the ship.
God damn it.
Gotta put our graphic up.
Yeah.
Right. But I guess that's how it felt like in my home too, is that
Yeah.
no one was steering the ship because everybody was crazy. But you probably felt a little bit like that too, because Dad and I were crazy. So were your siblings.
Was.
Yeah. That
That makes me feel better.
good catch, Emily, because definitely still are.
Okay. So I've talked about the house before.
Mhm.
We moved into the house when I was pregnant with my third child, Emily's oldest sister, Rebecca. And we knew the people that we bought the house from, and they always talked about activity in the house. And it wasn't that I didn't believe them, but part of me kind of didn't believe them.
Yeah.
It's like I believed that they were experiencing something, but I wasn't like on board with this is a ghost thing.
Right.
Until we moved in.
Yeah, that was before you were really interested in paranormal.
So we moved in and immediately we started having activity.
Yeah, I still love, and we've probably talked about it on the podcast before, but just for people who haven't listened to all the episodes, I think you said your first experience was when you were cleaning the kitchen, and you were cleaning out all the cabinets, and you had just closed them all, and then turned around and like left and came back, and they were all open.
They were all open.
That's like horror.
And I had that moment.
Like that that is what you see in every fucking horror movie.
That's the thing that I was like, I must have forgotten to. It's too nail on the, like hitting the nail on the head.
And that happened in Paranormal Activity, or was that Poltergeist?
It's happened a lot.
Chairs stacked up.
Yeah. To be fair, too, how far along were you with Rebecca?
Just probably like 4 months pregnant.
Do you get pregnancy brain at that point? I've never been pregnant, so I wouldn't know. I've sat on too many Black Aggie's lap.
Me either, thank God.
You sat on too many Black Aggie statues?
Yes. On the back of those Black Aggie statues.
Yes.
Someone needs to fly me one out here to Florida.
Yeah, you get pregnant.
Pregnante.
Fog, brain, whatever the hell I'm saying, at any stage in the pregnancy.
Yeah. So
and then you just have mom brain.
Yeah.
So I had Rebecca, and then just a couple months later, I got pregnant with this one here. So Rebecca was born end of January, and I got pregnant, I think, end of July. Actually, I know the date.
Yeah, we did your concert.
I know the date I got pregnant with her because it was the night that Nick and I went to a concert.
Hoary day, glory days.
They couldn't keep their hands off each other, Emily. Isn't that exactly what you want to talk about?
It wasn't even a cool concert. It was probably the lamest concert they could have conceived at.
Wait, you conceived at the concert? I thought this might have been like after the concert.
No, not at the concert.
Okay. I was like, what are we doing?
It was like an American Idol tour concert.
Oh, God. Yeah, that's pretty fucking lame.
Did you still have the t-shirt?
I do. I still have the t-shirt we got at the concert.
That's my favorite icebreaker, by the way. When I don't know what to talk to people about, I'm like, my parents have a t-shirt of my conception date on it. And if they don't ask any questions, I just let them think that you made it like that.
You could also just say my parents conceived me at an American Idol tour concert.
It wasn't at the concert.
You see, I tell people that I was conceived at a concert, but very specifically leave off what kind, so it sounds cooler.
Yeah.
What concert would you say you were conceived at if you wanted to make it cooler? Think of the year too.
Was Kiss still around by 04?
Kiss has been around since the
I mean,
70s.
like, were they touring?
Probably. They always have been.
Probably
doing
like a
shit.
Kiss concert or like any like alternative rock or like anything like that, you know. Sounds like you guys just got a little too drunk, partying a little too hard, and then here I came. But no, you guys, were you even drunk?
No, I didn't really
Completely sober after an American Idol concert.
Oh, I mean, to be fair, she did have a infant at home. So give her a little bit of a break. Little bit. Just a little bit. You could have pumped and dumped. You would have been fine.
No, she means breast milk if I was
Oh.
breastfeeding. No. Emily went, ew.
That is not what I was talking about.
That is how it happened.
I mean, if she pumped and dumped, then you wouldn't be here.
Oh my goodness gracious. So anyway, anywho,
welcome to the podcast, Emily. This happens on a regular basis.
The first time I saw the little girl in the house was after she was born. I was up at like 2:00 in the morning and I went into the kitchen to get a bottle for her. And when I was walking out in the dining room and I got to the entryway between the dining room and the living room, that's when I saw the little girl walk through the living room and then go up the stairs.
Yeah.
Well, I had kids sleeping upstairs. So I grabbed Emily and I ran upstairs like, who the hell is this little girl in the house? But there was nobody there. And then when I called the people we bought the house from, because like I said, I knew them. I was friends with the woman that lived there. I told her I saw a little girl and she asked me to describe her. And as I was describing her, the last thing I went to say is she had a sweater on with only the top button buttoned. And I said she had a sweater on. And at the same time that I said it, she said with only the top button buttoned.
Oh.
And I was like,
yeah.
Okay. So that's how I saw the little girl. And
it was a little blonde girl, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
I never saw a little girl.
We had ghost dogs.
It was a black dog. Like
Mhm.
a kind of like Bandit.
Mhm. That's what one of Blaze's experiences is. He was in the hallway and he saw Bandit in front of him and he was like, Bandit, what are you doing? And he said, come on. And then Bandit came up behind him.
Yeah.
And Blaze was like, what the hell was I looking at? Spooky, scary skeleton. Pretty much. So from the word go, we had
wine
activity.
break because Emily is apparently just as bad as her mother.
And we are back from our wine break.
And tangent, because of course there was a tangent.
There, of course, always.
Emily, do you have ADHD?
Amongst other things.
Or autism?
Not diagnosed.
She's got the tizzle.
You don't want to be on a list?
I don't want to be on a list.
Yeah, that's fair.
But there was one time that I was talking to a doctor and I was talking to them for a while about some issues I was having. And they asked like how old I was when I got evaluated. And I was like, evaluated for what?
Well, what do you mean?
And they were you never was it ever talked about like any like spectrum or like ADHD, ADD, anything like that? I was like, first time I'm hearing about it. Why? We'll come back to this another time.
Yeah.
Never spoke of it again.
Yeah.
Was this after your pediatrician?
No, it was my head shrink doctor.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
I had other things going on.
I'm not technically on any list. My therapist hasn't put it in my like official notes because she knows with the way that everything's going in the world and I told her, I was like, yeah, I don't really need to have any like official, like your judgment and testing that you did is enough. It doesn't need to.
Like, I trust you.
Yeah, I trust you. Please don't put it down anywhere because we don't need anybody knowing. But
just every time the word autism comes up, you have to drink.
Yeah.
Thanks, Posey.
Yeah. Thanks, Posey.
I was like, you mess with my mama? You mess with my Jen?
My second mama.
Yeah. Exactly.
I don't think so.
I grew up being told that if I ever needed condoms to go to Jen. So second mama right there.
Yeah.
I would have given you condoms too.
I would not have asked you.
I
I would have
know.
gone and brought them myself.
Still to this day, I will mail them to you if you need them, Emily.
I had condoms that when they started dating, I just kept them under the bathroom sink, and then
Yeah.
if I went and looked and they were all gone, I just went and filled them up, no questions asked.
Yeah.
You want to know where a few of those disappeared to?
You guys are playing with them.
I blew them into balloons.
Yeah.
Amazing. As you should as a child.
You know,
She was not a child
I was-
at this.
well, I was 16, but I was not sexually active at 16. So I was like, I got a whole bunch of condoms and I'm bored.
That's still a child. In my
I was thinking you were more 18, 19.
What, when I lost it?
Oh, I don't want to hear about that. No,
I don't know.
You were talking about how she was conceived at a concert, and God forbid you hear about how she lost her virginity.
I'm not even telling you how, just when.
Okay, I am going to steer the ship, and I'm going to get us back on track.
Thank you. Thank you, Jen.
You're welcome. Okay, so Emily, the first question that we have for you is, did anything about the house ever feel strange to you?
Well, there was a number of things, but
I imagine.
in a supernatural sense, it would really only be like if you were by yourself and it was like kind of later. Because I used to stay up a lot past, like, even when my sisters were awake. But if you ever found yourself alone in the house, you wouldn't actually feel like you were alone.
Okay.
Which, to me as a kid, like, I had always grown up around it, so it just kind of felt like that's just how it is.
Yeah, just
And I
normal.
never even perceived that I never quite felt alone until we moved, and I was like, oh, the room's empty and it feels empty now. I always back then felt like someone else was still there.
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys have to remember, like, the girls. So the boys were like 6, like 5 and 6, 6 or 6, 7.
6, 7.
I can't believe you just did that, Kelly.
Well,
I'm so disappointed in you.
I'm so proud of you.
Thank you. But the girls, they were born, that's the house they came home to.
Right. That's
And
all they knew for the longest time.
right. And we moved to, how old were you when we moved here?
It was just before my 14th birthday.
14th or 13th?
No, I turned 13 right after Poppy passed away.
Okay. All right.
So it was within that year.
So this was just normal for them.
Yeah.
I'm 21 now for like, so you can gauge it. But
We would hope that she's at least 21 because she is drinking
Yeah.
alcohol.
22 in a week, but
Well,
Okay.
So Poppy died in 2016, 10 years ago. So you would have been 11.
2016. I
He-
feel like I had just turned
You just
13.
Math
I
break.
was about to say, do I need to make him a math break?
So I would have been 12, and he passed away right before Easter, which is when I would have turned
Right.
13.
So we moved here in 2017. And then Dad and I, for that next year, got you those Black Veil Bride tickets for your birthday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think the majority of my life is still, the longest I've ever lived somewhere was still that house.
That
Yeah.
house, yeah. I mean, I remember the one time I dog sat for you all. That was, I mean, I was always interested in ghosts, but like staying overnight by myself in a haunted house, nothing happened when I was by myself. But I remember
Well,
it definitely feeling like,
I had no choice but to tell her she saw the man in the bathroom.
yeah.
Um,
I mean, I knew way before then, but yeah, it was
Right.
when I stayed the night, I actually made my boyfriend, my ex now, come stay with me at least one of the nights. I like forced him. He didn't want to. And I was like, He didn't want to sleep in some strange person's bed that he had never met, because for whatever strange reason at that point he had not met Kelly. But yeah,
By the way,
weird.
I'll sneak peek for later. I'm pretty sure that man in the bathroom, the shadow man, I'm convinced is the one that stays around.
With you?
Yes.
Well, this wasn't the shadow that she saw.
Oh.
So
I did
one time I was
possibly see the shadow, but
did possibly see the shadow.
As our loyal listeners know, that was after 8 lemon drop martinis, and
We're unreliable.
It was the morning after, but still.
So I one day went to go into our bathroom, and I didn't tell you guys a lot of this stuff either because you were little. I didn't want to scare crap out of you. You already were dealing with enough. So I opened the bathroom door, and there was this man standing there. And he looked so real that I was like, holy shit, there's a man in the bathroom. And I closed the door. But here's the weird thing. I went out and I called Dawn from the paranormal investigation team, not the police. So part of me knew it was a ghost.
So what did the man look like? Because it did look like the man that I had told you I saw in your bedroom around that time.
I don't remember what that man looked like. But what I saw was somebody that usually when you hear ghosts, they're always like, oh, they were wearing Victorian clothes. This guy looked like he died, I don't know, 10, 20 years ago. He was wearing like
a flannel?
Like an HVAC dude or some kind of like guy like with like a trade, like in the trades shirt on, and he had a hat on.
Okay.
And that's who Jen saw.
Yep.
In the bathroom still?
In the bathroom. Yeah, because you know how that bathroom had the double mirror?
Yeah.
Well, when I came in, I flipped on the light and I was looking at the mirror over the sink when I turned on the light, you know, because I was young and hot at the time. So I'm not constantly admiring myself. So I'm like
still hot. Not young, but still hot.
Hey, I'm still okay, I'm not young.
Not
Young is a state of mind, not an age. Thank you though, Emily. My cousin tells me I'm old all the time. My 21-year-old cousin. So she's your age, but she says I'm old.
Sometimes it's just fun to call people old.
But anyways, yeah, I was looking in the mirror, and over like right behind me is when I saw, it was like a little bit taller than me, but like I just kind of saw his face and like shoulders, and then I blinked and he was like gone. And I don't know, because it was so fast, if he was like actually behind me or like in the mirror, but I could see his face. So it was weird. And then I peed because, you know, I had to pee, as one does. And then I came out and told your mom what I had seen. And she had never told me what the guy looked like or anything else. And I was like, hey, I think I just saw the man in your bathroom. And I described him the same exact way your mom had seen him. And yeah, that was my first and only full-bodied apparition.
So do you want to tell us what the man that you saw in my bedroom looked like?
Here's the thing. More so I remember telling you about it and you being creeped out than I actually remember it happening.
Oh, okay. What bedroom was I in?
You were still in the upstairs bedroom. It was we were young because it was still me, Becca, and Katie all sharing that upstairs bedroom.
The big one.
Yeah.
Okay.
With the 2 bunk beds, and Katie still had her toddler bed in there.
Oh, you were really little. Yeah.
So I don't even know. We are talking about a ghost. We are not talking about another random man in Kelly's bedroom, because that was all I'm thinking of in this moment, is that Kelly had a guy in her bedroom that wasn't her husband, and she told her children it was a ghost.
That would have been funny. It would be a crazy way to find out on the podcast. But no. And the thing was, like, I had looked at him. So I was in the bedroom.
Was I in the bedroom?
No, you were downstairs with Dad. So that's why I know it wasn't another man.
Maybe he was hiding up there for later.
Maybe.
There's nowhere to hide in that bedroom.
No, there wasn't.
It was like the size of a walk-in closet. But I had gone to go downstairs because Becca and Katie had just gone downstairs. And I vaguely remember seeing someone in there. But like recalling it now, I can't remember what he looked like. But I remember trotting my little ass downstairs and being like, Mom, who the hell is that? like, who is in your bedroom right now? And you were like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, what are you talking about, Emily? There's no one up there. Stop it. Nick, it's the ghost, I swear.
The ghost,
Must be
Nick.
the
I
ghost.
mean, there's ghosts all over this house.
I mean, the house is haunted, Nick. I know you don't believe it, but that's absolutely what it is.
I swear.
But yeah, you were like, what are you talking about? And I was like, the guy. And he has like a flannel and like a jacket. I don't think I knew the word for flannel, but it was like the checkered shirt and the big jacket and like just the man. And you were like, I don't know what you're talking about. There's nobody up there. And you were like, are you like playing a game right now? Is this like playing pretend? And I was like, no, I swear there's somebody up there. And you went and you looked and you were like, nobody is up there. Granted, I was like 4 or 5 years old, I think. I don't know if maybe I'm just remembering having an overreactive imagination, but I swear to little me, I had just glanced in the room, seen a dude standing there, and was like, Mom?
Mom?
Well,
Instinct.
it's difficult because, like, you don't want to tell your kids that they're not seeing what they're seeing.
Yeah,
But then also when they're that little, they play a lot of games.
very true.
So you don't know, are we playing make believe here? What exactly is going on?
Like, am
So-
I about to walk up and get murdered because someone
Right.
crawled in through the window?
And was
My
I the one
mom
that went
having an
up to knock back?
affair? You know.
I think Dad was on his game. He was just like, someone's in the room. I'm sure they aren't.
Dad was always on his game back then. Okay, so were there any places like
the man in
What?
the bedroom even more? Sorry.
Mom, if there's a time to confess, it would be now.
there's nothing.
I just did this hypothetical with you. I think Dad would forgive you. It's been long enough.
There's nothing.
Trust
to
me.
confess.
Trust me, Emily. If it was true, if she was like having an affair, I would know about it already and I wouldn't be joking about it because it would be a super secret thing that a best friend would know and not tell anybody. So I think you're safe.
Would
Oh,
you
look.
tell Dad?
No,
Josh is calling.
absolutely not. Of course Josh is calling. Hi,
Give me a
Josh. And we are back from
My son called. Funny story about his brand new baby girl. Yeah. So there's 2 people that call when I'm recording.
and
Me,
one of them is
you,
here.
and Joshua.
Half the time I know I'm calling, I'm like, she's probably recording right now. I don't give a shit. We're gonna see. And I just call.
Okay, so Emily, were there any places in the house that you avoided?
Well, I never liked the basement. I can't say if that was because of we had various people live down there at various points. But it always creeped me out and I always just felt uneasy down there. And then at some point it became my bedroom. Was like the entire basement because nobody else's bedroom was down there. And
was that before Poppy moved in?
that was
No, that was
after
after he
Poppy
died.
passed
Oh.
away.
Well, it was your bedroom at one point in time too, Kelly.
Yes.
We switched.
We
Okay.
switched because we adopted a cat
Mm.
Waffles.
that I was highly allergic to. And the cat was downstairs because of Boogie, and I couldn't be in that room anymore.
Okay.
And I love cats. I have 2 of my own now, and I bonded officially with them. But that was the first cat I ever bonded with.
Yeah.
We have Spoopy, Icarus, Apollo. I love them, but I'm not bonded with
Yeah.
them. And I was like, well, I guess if you can't be in the room with Waffles, I'll be down there instead.
Okay.
So I was down with Waffles.
Because I know
Yeah.
when I came and dog sat or really animal sat for you, you were still in the basement because that's where I had slept in your room, which I did not like the basement at all. I did not like those stairs either, going to or upstairs or downstairs in the basement. They were terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were.
I will say me and Waffles went through plenty of paranormal experiences down there. But that was right when I was starting to, I guess, experiment religiously. And it I went from 2 years old being a Christian because we still went to church to an atheist to I think around 12 to 13 I started dabbling in Wicca until
Oh,
I was about 17. And then now I'm like an agnostic. But that was right when I was starting to dabble in it, because when I was down there from like 12, 13-ish or whatever my age was right when I was starting to get interested in it because of all the stuff that was going on around me.
I bet, yeah.
Right.
Do you still do any witchcraft, Emily?
Um, not regularly.
Okay.
I mean, I still like believe in certain parts of it, and I've definitely thought about going back into it because it's the only time I ever was like in a like more religious like mindset that I
Mhm.
enjoyed it.
Yeah.
But
I don't count myself like I'm not Wiccan. Like I don't abide by like any religious order, but I do consider myself a witch and I kind of do other witchy things, but that's kind of what I love about witchcraft is that there's really because I'm not Wiccan, there's no rules. Like you do what feels right and good to you and as long as you respect like I'm very big on respecting cultures and clothes practices and things like that and learning where things come from because a lot of it comes from, indigenous and African and their roots and I like to kind of learn about all of that, but yeah, besides that and being respectful, there's really no rules. And I love that. Because fuck
yeah,
rules.
I mean, for the longest time, I would say probably up until I started dating and met Nick, like just about a month beforehand, I still like not based to any deity. I would still
Yep.
keep like a little altar of, hey, I'm gonna give things
Yeah,
and I'm gonna hope I'm gonna get positive vibes or protection or something back from it.
absolutely.
If it happens, it happened. If it doesn't, it doesn't. I wasn't worshiping, like, I know a lot of people feel like they're chosen by a deity.
Yeah.
I didn't feel that. But I
Yeah, I
also
don't have
believed
that
like
either.
giving back. Like I don't believe like if there's something that's decomposable and or I could feed to the animals and the wildlife, I always give that back to them.
Yeah.
Like I fed wild foxes, whistle pigs, or groundhogs, squirrels, and all that stuff, just like the natural stuff that like I just have waste of. There's been times where like I've been walking down the street and it's been dark, and specifically where I live, once in a while we'll get like, oh, the raccoons attacked somebody or something. And I'll see like a fox and it'll be like 3 feet from me and it just looks at me and just struts on past.
Yeah.
And
And
sometimes I'm
no.
like, it's because it likes me.
Yeah, it's like, you cool. You cool.
It
We're
likes
good.
vibes.
Yeah, good
Right.
vibes. So,
Well, I like the nature part of witchcraft. I like the intention part of
yeah.
witchcraft. And I do see the so one thing when grandma even died
Mhm.
and we went to Iowa for the funeral. And they're Catholic, so they have a whole Catholic funeral mass. I'm not Catholic, I'm an atheist. But
I have, sorry,
one
side
thing I
note. I hate going to Catholic masses and then they're all doing the
right.
hand signals and the
So
words.
we don't know any of that. We're
Like,
just
I'm
trying
just
to
like,
figure out
what is happening here? Yeah.
That
right.
was part of the funeral. I had to go up there and hand like the priest or whoever that is and have the hand on the stuff, but there was no like script that I was given. So I was just holding the stuff like,
Yeah.
what you want?
Right. Well,
What you
and
want?
I found out very later in life that if you are not Catholic, you're not supposed to take communion
Yeah.
at a
Yeah.
Catholic mass. Well, that
So
my ex that I went to a Catholic mass with his family, and no one in the family nor him told me I was not supposed to take communion. So I fucking took communion, and then I felt really bad about it many years later when I found out you weren't supposed. I mean, not really,
well,
but
my point is, even though I don't subscribe to that religion, I don't necessarily believe that religion. I could see the beauty in the rituals that the
yes.
family was doing to lay their mother or their grandmother, lay them to rest. Like, I do think there is beauty and comfort in ritual,
Yeah, I agree.
but I don't think it has to be a particular way serving a particular god. I think it has to be whatever feels soothing to you.
Yeah, and that's what I love about witchcraft is that that's what I do. Like I go months sometimes without doing anything. Not recently. I've been pretty good recently. But like
Yeah.
I don't feel like but I when I don't practice for a while, I'm not like, "Oh, I'm not a witch anymore." No, I'm still a witch. I was just lazy.
Right. So, Emily, do you remember what the first thing is you remember happening?
Probably just the Shadow Man. That, like, probably the farthest back I can go, other than I had chronic sleep paralysis, which is not necessarily paranormal. Some people think that it can be attributed to it, but I had that from like 3 years old till now. So that's like the first thing I remember that was ever creepy. But the first thing where I was like, that's a ghost, was the shadow man at the end of the hall.
And he used to run between the 2 bedrooms and the bathroom.
Yep.
I still can't believe I never saw that. Like, again, questionably saw the shadow man in Blaze's bedroom when I stayed the night. When Blaze left,
which is one of the rooms that he would dart between.
But
it sounds like, when you talk about it, it sounds like, oh, I don't know how I didn't see it, but like, there was at one point I think I went like a year without ever seeing it.
Yeah.
It's not like you were living in the Amity horror house, whether you believe it was real or not.
Emily,
that's all hope. We don't believe that.
I
love the Conjuring house.
Yeah, the Conjuring house is not the Amity house.
I know, but I'm just changing the house.
Oh,
so Jen
okay.
feels better.
The Amityville house is not haunted, Emily. It was a hoax. And if you would listen,
I know, but it's not like you're living in the movie
that.
of it.
It's not like you're living in the movie of it, is what she said.
Where it's like every time they blink, something's happening.
That's acceptable. The movie's fantastic because Ryan Reynolds is great.
And again, Ryan Reynolds, if you are watching this, and we know that you are, please, reach out, be a guest on the podcast. Let us know how the experience of filming that movie was.
Absolutely.
Okay, so back to your story, Emily. Did any of this stuff scare you?
Depended. Very heavily depended on which event, what it was. Because there was really, based on my childhood, there was 4 regular things I remember seeing. I'm not taking into account the man upstairs because I don't remember that other than that one instance.
Okay, so what were the 4?
The shadow man, the man from my room that would follow me around, the dog, and the little girl.
Okay, so the man from the room that would follow you around, is that who we believe may still be with you?
No.
Oh.
So what did the man in the room that followed you around look like?
That was the only one that ever truly scared me.
What was he like? Can you tell us what he looked like? What did he do that scared you? Did he talk? Did he?
No, it would be more like, you know how like people have a feeling to them, and you'd always like, you can know who someone is sometimes just based off of, like, you might know dad walks into the room because of the energy he has.
Right.
Yeah.
So sometimes I would just get this overwhelming sense of dread and like mild fear. And it was always attributed to the man, who I only ever visually saw when it would be like late, and I would wake up and I would go to the bathroom and I would come back and I would just feel like I was being watched. And I would, if I would sit up in bed, there would be a man, usually like I could see his silhouette, but it wasn't the man that used to dart back and forth from rooms. Okay. But I could see his silhouette, and he kind of looked like he had like a long kind of like, not cloak, like trench coat on.
Question.
And he would just,
was he wearing a hat?
You see, I think of him very much like the Hat Man. Like, that's kind of what the silhouette looked like.
Yeah.
But I don't remember if he had the hat on.
Okay.
But usually when people make, like, depictions of the Hat Man, I can remember all of it up until
the hat.
Like, the hat area.
That's fair. Because it's the very same vibes that people usually get with the Hat Man.
Yeah. And Joshua used to see the Hat Man.
Yeah. Which is why sometimes, like, I don't remember seeing the hat, but sometimes I feel like he did, but I don't know if that's influenced by, like, hearing about, like, his experience.
Right.
Because I don't personally remember it. But I just remember mainly the cloak, because I was always younger, usually younger. And it scared me because it just, like, it looked like an evil supervillain you'd see in a comic or a show or something with his, like, long cloak. So I remember that freaking me out all the time. But that was the only time I ever really felt scared, is if he was there.
Okay.
If the dog, the little girl, or the shadow man was there, I never felt scared.
So those are the other ones that you would see.
Yeah.
And how much of this did you tell your mom and dad at the time when it was happening?
Probably not a lot of it.
I don't remember her talking about the man that followed her around the room. But we also, once it got to the point where, like, when the kids were really little, Nick and I avoided talking about things, or I avoided because Nick is like, nothing's happening.
Yeah.
But once the kids started coming to me about things that they would see, I didn't want them to feel like they were crazy or that we didn't believe them. Or
Right.
so then we got a little bit more open about talking about the things. And that's when I found the show Ghost Hunters, and they helped me figure out how to talk to them about things that were going on to make it less scary, that they could tell it to go away or leave them alone, or whatever it was.
Ghost Hunters was fantastic about that shit. And
Yeah.
actually, now that we're bringing up Ghost Hunters, Kelly,
Steve from Ghost Hunters
Uh-huh.
is following our podcast on TikTok.
Oh.
Hi, Steve.
hi Steve.
We're so happy that you are here. Steve, this is my daughter, Emily.
Mhm.
Nice to meet you. I never took your advice. I was young though.
I fangirled so fucking hard when I opened up TikTok and saw that Steve was following us. I lost it. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'll be honest, I did.
She sent me the screenshot of the notification. I'm like, what platform is this on? What are we doing here? What is happening? What is happening? It's Steve.
Yeah. So thank you, Steve, for following us, and reach out if you want to be a guest on our podcast, because
Again, always welcome.
Yeah.
And please feel free to share these clips with everybody that you know.
Yeah.
Big fans. But yeah, Ghost Hunters was pivotal in when I would watch them visit a family that had small kids, and those kids were scared.
You see, I remember you being like, oh, just tell it to go away. But like I'm specifically remembering one instance when we were in the room with the back door in it.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember waking up and I remember looking towards like the bedroom door and I saw him. And it's just, there was no moving at that point.
Mm-hmm.
It was just, you felt paralyzed and you were looking at him and you felt like, if I look away, if I blink, if I do anything, like, I don't know what he's going to do.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it was just true. I've gone through a lot, but probably the most pure form of fear I have ever felt, just like looking at him and just not being able to look away, just being transfixed, like stuck there.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Until at one point you would blink and it was like he was gone.
Yeah.
That's terrifying.
It is terrifying.
It is. It was like he had a hold on you, where it was like even if you wanted to look away, you couldn't.
I don't like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, we don't like that.
No.
Neither did I.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so eventually we moved to the house that we are in now. Well, Emily doesn't live here anymore. She has since years later then moved out on her own. But when we left there, we moved here. Did you notice anything here? Because the podcast room we are in now is Emily's old room.
Yeah.
Yes. Which is why Kelly is able to have a podcast room. It's because Emily moved out.
It's because I like
Emily moved out.
Oh, well, I don't know. Maybe our patrons might remember because we only did video for our patrons. But when we first started recording the podcast, Emily still lived there, and we recorded in Kelly's bedroom, or Kelly
Right.
recorded in her bedroom.
feels like forever ago, but
I know.
yeah,
It does. I miss you.
I miss you too. You see, this is probably the one. So, like, I could go on for hours about the old house and experiences I've had. And then I lived in another part in Columbia, Maryland.
But did you notice anything in this house?
Here, it was more so just like once in a while, I'd be like, you guys would go on vacation. I would decide not to go because I was working at the time and I didn't want to take off. And I would be in the house by myself and I would be upstairs in my room. And I would hear somebody come up the stairs. Because those are creaky stairs.
Mm-hmm.
I'd hear somebody come up. I would look, nobody would be there. And I'd be like, okay. But I still had that sense of like, I could tell when I was alone and when I wasn't really alone. But there was never in this house like any negative experiences. It just was always like, I felt like somebody would just occasionally pop up over my shoulder.
Okay.
And just be like, looking at me. And then it would be like I could feel just the energy come, and then I would feel it walk away. And then it would come, and then I could feel it walk away.
Interesting.
Like, I don't really, other than hearing occasionally people like walk up and down the stairs when I knew for a fact I was the only one here, and like the dog wasn't walking up and down the stairs. There was never really too many experiences here that like creeped me out or anything.
But you had that feeling? You
Yeah.
felt like something was around?
Consistently. When I
Right.
lived here, there was always that feeling like someone would pop in, look around, leave. Pop in, watch me, leave.
Okay.
But it was never like, I never felt scared when I lived here. Like something happened. I never saw the guy in the cloak when I lived here.
Okay.
So I just kind of thought that stuff was over. Like it was gone. Like maybe it was tied to the house, not so me.
Yeah.
Which, from what I understood about the paranormal, was how it worked at the time. So I was like, okay, that makes sense.
And then she moved out.
And then I moved out.
Then you became a big girl and shit went down.
Yep.
So when did you first realize that something might be attached to you rather than just the old house when you moved out?
So I always kind of had the inkling, because when I lived here, I still felt it was the same feeling of someone checking in that I used to get with like the shadow man at the old house. Because like I swear I heard him speak one time. And
do you know what he said?
He said my name. Because I was in one of the rooms and I was laying and I was awake, but I was going through a lot at the time. So I was just laying there, just staring up at the ceiling. And I had this, like, it was from Costco. It was like a 6-foot long teddy bear that I had on my bed. And I was laying in between it and the wall. So at this point, it was still me and Katie's room, I think. I don't think Katie had her own room yet.
Mm-hmm.
They were at Taekwondo. And I was in Taekwondo with them, but I was going through a very mentally not okay time. So I was like, Mom, can I please just not go? So she let me stay home, and I went and laid down, and I was trying to fall asleep. And I wasn't able to fall asleep, so I was still up, and I would occasionally scroll on my phone, and then I'd put it down, and then I'd try and sleep. But I felt like I could hear somebody else in the room. Like I wasn't alone. But I didn't have like that feeling that somebody was there like I normally had. I just felt like I could hear somebody on the other side of the bear because it blocked the entire other side of the room from my sight. That there was somebody like breathing over there, and it felt like you could hear like a little shuffle. And all I could see was, because I was on my back in my room looking kind of towards where we had like our closet and like a TV set up, and I didn't see anybody there. But just knowing that I should be alone and I could hear someone was starting to freak me out.
Fair.
And I don't know why, but I decided I'm just going to stay here. And I'm just going to like pretend like it doesn't exist. So I was just tucked there under my blanket, and I closed my eyes, and I was just like, it's not real. Whatever you're hearing, it's like your mind's messing with you. Because I was at this point very into the paranormal-ish stuff. So I was like, whatever's here, like your mind's just like hearing something else and thinking it's breathing, or hearing something else move and thinking it's somebody in the room, like moving around.
Right.
So I was starting to freak out a little bit, but I was just like closing my eyes and like, nope, it's not real. It's not happening. It's not happening. But then I heard like it sounded like 2 footsteps, like very loud, come from the hallway.
The hallway. I always heard footsteps in the hallway.
And then I heard my door swing open and slam shut.
Ooh.
And I heard somebody say, Emily. Not a familiar voice. Not anybody.
I was going to say, did
heard.
it sound like it was one of us? Or so it wasn't like a mimic?
Did not sound like Mom. Did not sound like Dad, Blaze, Josh, Rebecca,
Didn't
Katie.
sound like you?
No, but not me. Nobody. I heard that door slam open, like swing open, slam shut, and I heard Emily.
Was it a
and I
feminine or a masculine voice?
It was a more masculine voice. Okay. And I opened my eyes because I heard my name, and I sat up because like that entire time I was still hearing that breathing. And then Mom comes into the room, and she's like, did you just come from the bedroom and slam your door shut? And I was like, no. Did you do it? Like I was like, I've been in bed.
How old were you at the time?
It's about around 12, 13.
Yeah, that tracks. I can see why she would probably ask why if you slammed your door.
Yeah.
Because, you know,
so like
age.
Now thinking back, I can see why she said it, but at the time I was like, you know damn well it wasn't me. I was in the bed.
Terrified. Yeah.
So she was like, I just saw you run from the bathroom into here and slam the door shut. And I was like, it wasn't me. I don't know what you're talking about. But she was like, if it wasn't you, who was it? And I was like, I don't know.
Listen, you guys have to understand too that as much paranormal activity as we experience, I was always questioning that. It couldn't have been paranormal. It had to be
Yeah.
Emily running into her room and slamming the door. It wasn't jumping to everything is paranormal all the time.
Yeah. And I don't blame you for having that reaction. But like,
But
also,
it must have been pretty terrible for you at the time, scared to death in your room. And I'm like, don't you slam that fucking door.
Yeah.
well, you had talked about that at a later point, like years later. You went like, yeah, I remember one time going into your room and thinking you would run in, slam the door, and you being like, that wasn't me.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah. I had been so creeped out. Obviously, I wasn't going to try and go back to bed. And I'd gone to the door and I'd, like a creeper, I had started listening because I heard mom and dad talking. And you had said something about, like, I swear I saw a shadow run into her room and then the door slammed. I thought it was her or something like that. And I was like, am I losing my mind? Or did something genuinely run in here, say my name? And then the other thing I felt was just
Right.
gone.
Yeah.
Because as soon as my name was said, I didn't hear the breathing, the shuffling, the anything.
So it was almost like
So-
something was protecting you.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, that was the time I heard it talk. That's the
Yeah,
only
that's
time.
right.
I forgot that was why we were talking about that.
Story of our lives.
Wine break.
Welcome back.
Hi.
We
Emily,
don't know where we were or what happened.
we
but
don't. But
Yeah.
Emily, while we were on a tangent and wine break and lipstick break and potty break, mentioned activity that she experienced at work when
Yeah.
she was a teenager, which is when she lived here and worked here where we live.
So I don't necessarily know if this was related to what's going on, because where I worked, it was a Kidoba, and it was already thought to be haunted.
Okay.
They're like, I'm pretty sure still to this day, the people who work there think it's haunted.
Fair.
Because I had this friend, her name was Kenzie. She worked there not with me, but right when she left, I had started working there. And she claimed that at one point when she was working there, she thought she heard somebody call her name, and she looked over to where we kept all of our cleaned dishes and like our like storage stuff. And she watched, it was like a little cube like tray thing that we had. And she watched it, and she swears that she saw it just like shift from one side of this like little table to the next. And just like feeling like somebody was there with her and somebody had called her name to get her attention. And when she turned her head and looked, it moved. And then she called over her coworkers, and they were like, what was that? Like, what is going on right now? Because like,
happening?
does this happen? And they were all like, yeah, I mean, not to scare you, but what probably was the ghost. It's just here. Don't worry about it.
Don't worry. That's fine. It's just a ghost.
They just like brushed her off. But that's how like I learned, and based on later experiences I confirmed for myself, that there was apparently like a spirit or something that would only ever really talk to select few people when they were alone. They never really said why. Nobody ever really looked into it. The manager at the time, his wife was into the paranormal, but even she never really was like, oh, it's because of this. Or
Is
"Oh."
that the manager I'm thinking of?
Yes.
Okay. We
His
don't
wife-
like him.
His
Ah,
wife
fuck
though
him.
was a sweetheart. Loved his wife. He was just like a terrible dude.
I mean,
Just
most
classic.
men are, let's be real.
Yeah. But when I had been working there, I had never seen anything move, but I would go in there to open a lot. And we were the first people who'd come in when it was like opening time. So it would be like 5, 6 a.m. We'd go in, start prepping stuff, and it was usually one person alone by themselves. We were connected to other restaurants because it was like a food court setting. So you would feel like you heard somebody from like the restaurant next to us. And if you looked, sometimes we would see somebody there. I was not the only person who experienced that. But you would look and you'd see like somebody standing at the end of this really long hall, and then they would walk off.
Oh, I don't like that.
No. There was a
Mm-mm.
back door of the restaurant. So most of the time, first thought would be somebody got in. Somebody
Right.
who's not
Yeah.
supposed to be able to get in.
That would be my first thought, of course.
But it got to the point where it was almost every single time you'd be there by yourself. If you looked around enough, or if you looked behind you when you were doing something, you would see somebody there. Never doing anything threatening, but just kind of like observing you.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like
And
that at all.
and I would talk about it with the other people who would occasionally come in early in the morning by themselves, and they'd be like, I see the same thing. I hear the same things. Like, they would hear people call their name occasionally.
Mm-mm.
And there was obviously nobody there. It was under like lock, and like there's an alarm that would go off
Yeah.
if you even tried to open the door by yourself without a lock, like the key to the lock. And there was no way anybody else was in the building, but you would look behind you and you would see somebody there. And they would, almost every single time that you'd see them, they would walk away and they would just leave.
So like,
And
I know we're really into the paranormal, and this, isn't too terrifying, but what I need everyone to understand is that, like, if I could go investigate this location, great, fantastic, wonderful. I'm ready. I'm there. I'm investigating. But if I am working at this location and I am trying to get shit done and the paranormal is happening, that's when it's just like, okay, dudes, like, settle the fuck down. Like, I'm busy. I need to
I got
fucking
shit to
my
do.
job. I don't have
Uh-oh.
time to have an EVP session with you right now. Like,
Did you hear? She just said you're about to be real freaked out. Go
oh,
ahead.
God. Okay.
because it wasn't always somebody would be just behind you, just looking, and then they'd walk away. Sometimes, like, usually it was the by where we did our dishes. You'd be working, cleaning stuff, or prepping something, and you would feel a very firm and distinct pat on your shoulder.
Oh no.
Which we did.
Nope.
In a restaurant setting, like, hey, you've got like a lot of shit in your hand. We were very like,
Tap me. Tell me how hard. Oh, you can't mistake that.
No.
Can't
I
mistake it.
heard that.
Yeah.
yeah.
Nope.
But we all did that to each other because we weren't the like, hey, yell like corner or knife. And if you saw somebody there and you didn't want them to turn with something and knock you over, you would just give them a little pat and you'd keep
Oh.
walking.
See, when you said
So-
you did that to each other, I thought you like were, because so many people had experienced it from the ghost, that you all were just assholes and were like going up to people.
No.
Well, there
and, like,
might have been a little bit of that too.
Who
randomly
knows?
tapping
Like,
them
I
to scare
can't
the shit out
confirm
of
if
them.
someone
But
did it to me because of that reason.
okay.
But like, there was one time, there was this girl named Andrea, and I think it was just me and her in the restaurant, and she was up front dealing with customers, so we were open, but it was later in the day, and I had been trying to like prep stuff. I think we were by like the sink area, and I felt a very distinct like pat on my shoulder, like someone who was letting me know they were there, because that's how we let each other know we were there. And I turned, I didn't see her, and it just like, in my mind, it didn't register as like, this is right. Like, it registered wrong.
Yeah.
Because someone tapped, like, I finished for like 3 seconds what I was doing, turned around to ask what they were doing because I was a supervisor, and I was like, do you need something? Do you need me to bring something to you? And there was nobody there. But it wasn't like a instant tap look.
Right.
But I turned around, she wasn't there, and I was like, okay, that's weird. So I went up to the front and I was like, hey, do you need something? What's wrong? I didn't see you when you were back there, but I felt your tap. And she was like, I've been up here the entire time. You can see the line of people I'm dealing with. I haven't been back there. Could have been somebody else. I was like, there's nobody else here. It's only me and you on shift. But just to make sure, I had gone to the restaurant next to us and asked, hey, did one of you guys need me for something? Like, I felt somebody tap on my shoulder, and I don't know if maybe I didn't hear you and you tapped me to try and get my attention or what, but do you guys need something? And they were like, nobody's been back there. We're in the middle of a dinner rush. We're busy.
Okay.
Right.
That's crazy.
So I went back to Andrea and I was like, hey, they said they didn't tap on my shoulder. You didn't tap on my shoulder. Somebody very distinctly tapped on my shoulder. She was like, oh, it's probably just the ghost. Don't worry about it. It's probably fine. And just brushing it off, and I was like, the ghost.
It's weird that you dealt with that, like you've always dealt with the paranormal.
Yeah.
So when you were a child, when you would stay at my cousin Kim's house, or when you would stay at your friends, the Triplets,
Yeah.
when you would stay there, did you ever experience anything paranormal in those locations?
Probably only at the Triplets. I remember that I stayed at cousin Kim's house.
Mm-hmm.
Don't really remember much about it though.
Mm-hmm.
I think I was either too young or there's too much going on, where like I've definitely blocked out certain memories and like time periods.
Trauma.
Yeah, trauma.
Unresolved trauma. Future
That is the
podcast
name of
of
our
Jen
second
and Kelly.
podcast that Jen and I are going to start.
Oh,
One day is called
I mean, guests
Unresolved
on there
Trauma.
one day.
Yeah, you will. I'm probably the source of some of that trauma.
Not
Probably not the
probably.
most, though.
No, you are her mother. You definitely are.
Definitely, yeah.
Because all mothers cause their daughters trauma. It's
But
unavoidable.
I'll tell you the
It's a part of
difference.
being a mom.
I'll
Yeah.
tell you the difference between like my mom and me is if she wants to talk to me about something I did that hurt her, I want to hear it and I
Yes.
want to see what we can do to
To
help
fix it.
to heal it.
And you acknowledge that things you did as a parent.
We're-
Happened.
Nobody's perfect.
No,
And it's not that we expect mothers to be perfect,
no.
but you have to be willing to listen to your kids say, hey, when you did this thing, it hurt me. And sometimes she'll tell me something and I'm like, no. Like my initial reaction is no, that didn't happen. But then I remind myself, she remembers this event and
Yeah.
that is valid and that is what needs to be dealt with.
I think half the time the issue is whatever it was that like if you did something that affected me, it was just something that you were doing and you were stressed and like there's all this stuff going on in life.
Absolutely.
But as a kid,
Yeah.
it's a distinctive event that happened.
Absolutely.
It doesn't matter what was going on in my life.
It
And I know,
affected
like,
you.
listen, Poppy was dying. We had a lot of shit going on. But that, whatever was going on in my life does not mean that you and your needs didn't deserve to be met. And that's something that I am willing to admit where I fell short on things.
And a lot
Whereas
of
my
moms
mom-
aren't. It's
My mom is
Yeah.
like, well, why are you such a sensitive little bitch?
Yeah.
Why do you know?
Don't be a cunt.
that's
So,
that's the problem. And so any mom out here listening, just be open if your child tries to come to you and says, hey,
apologize to your kids
Yeah.
for when you fucked up.
you most likely, hopefully, did not do any of it on purpose. Now there are
Yeah.
some mothers, like Kelly's mom, who probably did a lot of shit on purpose because she's a cunt. But most moms don't do shit on purpose.
I don't know that my mother did it intentionally to hurt me. I think that she just refuses to see that her actions did hurt me.
Now
If I can say
though.
something as someone who's not a mom
Yeah. Go
and
ahead.
is still very close to the childhood portion,
Yes.
don't take the criticism as an attack to who
Not.
you are as a person or your parenting style.
Absolutely.
Just recognize like how you are perceiving something as an adult who has created a human being and is now parenting them. How you're perceiving that as you are now is going to be very different to what your kid is experiencing because they've not had that chance to have all your life experiences.
Yeah.
So you might do something and think it's so inconsequential, but it might be the first time your kid is experiencing something. So if they have the courage to come to you and talk to you, like be willing to take that as my kid's reaching out to me, not my
Yeah.
kid is attacking me for making a mistake or doing something that's like now I realize isn't good.
Yeah.
Just listen
Listen.
and absorb it and then
100%.
So this will also be clipped out eventually for our pilot episode of Unresolved Trauma. I don't even know how
Trauma.
we got here.
Yeah, I don't
Oh,
either.
the triplets. We were talking about the triplets, and
triplets.
somehow we got here. I don't know how that happened, but let's go. What did you
Let's be
experience?
back.
We don't want to say the triplets' name, but Emily had a friend who was a triplet.
Yes, I remember
So,
them.
if you're
I mean, I
watching,
don't think
you
I ever
know.
met them, but I remember hearing about them.
I don't think you ever met them.
Yeah, I don't think I did.
But so they lived in like a rancher style home with a basement. And most of the time, if I was staying there, I was either in their playroom of the basement on this air mattress like thing they had, or on their beanbag, or in the room with the two girls themselves.
Yeah. I don't know why, but maybe it's everything in today's culture, but playroom just sounds gross now. I'm sorry. It just it don't call it a playroom. It just
Well, if I say the toy room, that's not better
that's
either.
even worse. That's worse. I don't know a better alternative at this point, but like
The kids' room.
perfect kids room. Yeah, the
Yeah.
nursery. I mean, I guess that's more so for babies. I don't know. Playroom just sounds ominous.
Gives you the heebie-jeebies.
The
Yeah.
basement.
The
The basement.
The basement.
The basement.
Yeah.
Where all the toys were.
Yep.
Which toys? Where all the
Children-
toys?
The basement where all the children's toys were.
Because you have to be really specific in today's culture, Kelly. We want to make sure not that if we claimed that anybody had a toy room, would they be investigated? Because that just doesn't happen.
But in the basement kids' room, stop making that face. In the basement kids' room,
I'm autistic, Emily. This is just my thing.
Oh, she's autistic. Get that glass, girl. Wine break.
Welcome back.
Hello.
We are currently in the basement of the Triplets' house.
Yes.
And what happened?
So
Good
there was
job,
actually-
Kelly.
Thank you.
There was one in the basement and there was one not. But the one in the basement was me and my best friend at the time. We'll call them Jay.
Mm-hmm.
Me and Jay were laying there and we were in that kiddish vibe of like joking around when you know you should be going to bed and then somebody says something stupid and you just start giggling,
Yes,
Yeah, Jack, I do that all the time.
Yeah.
constantly.
But their mom had actually called down like, hey, go to bed right now before I come down there and separate you guys so you go to sleep. Like, you guys need to be quiet, go to bed, it's late, this is the end of it. Fair enough. It was probably like 11 or 12 and we were like 8 or something. So
That's fair.
we had tried to settle down and Jade was starting to go to bed. And I was like fading in and out of sleep, but I couldn't quite go to bed. So I had sat up and I wasn't really on my phone. I wasn't on any social media at that point. So if I couldn't sleep, I would just sit up, prop a pillow behind me, and I would just kind of like think. Because I would like create little worlds in my brain.
I was going to say,
Same.
she is such a writer and a creative person. I was just going to say you were creating a
Yeah.
whole story in your mind.
You play out scenarios.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, I do that every night. Every night.
Very, very strong immersive daydreaming.
Uh-huh.
But I remember being brought out of it, and I can't remember about what. Because again, I was young. It was a long time ago. But there was this like, we were in the living room version of the kids' room, and then there was a room just full of the kids' toys to the side. I remember my attention being brought to that room. The lights were off. It was dark. The only light we had on was like some sort of like night lights thing we had. And I looked over and I just got that same sense of somebody's looking at me, someone's watching me, kind of dread. That the only other time I've ever experienced was with the hatless hat man.
Mm-hmm.
Love that description.
It's accurate. But I just remember feeling that sense, and I looked over to the like dark archway of the room, and I remember feeling like I was looking into this basically abyss. I was looking into the abyss, and someone was looking right back at me. And it didn't feel like, oh, I feel like someone might be in there or I'm creeped out. It felt like when you lock eyes with someone and like you're just staring at them.
Was it familiar? Like it's something, it's not like a strange feeling, a stranger that you're locking eyes with, but it's something familiar that you're locking eyes with.
It was a familiar sense of dread, but not a familiar sense of I recognize this person.
Okay.
Okay.
So I looked at them and I recognized like this is the same dread I feel at home.
Mm-hmm.
And I was staring at it. And I was a kid. I was fucking terrified of what I was looking at. I was like truly scared. But it was so bizarre and I was in like an unfamiliar place and I didn't know what to do. So I remember sitting there for what felt like hours. It was probably only like 20 minutes, but I just felt like I couldn't move, and I was just staring at this. Quite literally, I'm in a room that's slightly lit by a nightlight, and you can see the archway of the door, and it's just a black abyss into it. And I feel like it shouldn't be a black abyss. There should be someone standing there looking right back at me.
It sounds like kind of like the Babadook.
Kind of like, yeah, that would be a pretty accurate description of it.
Yeah.
Great.
And I don't even remember like breaking eye contact, because I had been like a little creeper, just like making eye contact with it.
Deer in headlights.
Yeah. I don't remember breaking that eye contact. I literally just remember the part where I was laying on my back looking at the ceiling, trying to pretend like it wasn't there and trying to go to bed. I don't remember how I broke the eye contact. I just remember being like, I need to pretend like it's not there. I need to stop. Just like, don't look at it. Maybe it'll go away. And then eventually falling asleep and waking up the next day and not talking about it. Because I knew I was creeped out.
So question, did any of the triplets ever mention anything creepy in their home?
No.
Okay.
They were asleep at that point, and I think I at one point asked them about like that sort of thing. But they never once said like that they believed in ghosts or anything. And they were religious.
They were very religious.
Okay. Yeah.
Like, it had been a discussion amongst our little selves about it, but they never said that they felt their house was haunted or anything.
I am going to steer the ship again after I don't know what the fuck that was break.
Yeah.
Oh, that would be a great graphic. I don't know what the fuck that was break.
Stop making graphics for me to have to create, Kelly.
No, you don't get it. She's so good at it.
I'm sure she is.
So, you said there was another experience at the Triplets house. Let's get through that, and then we can talk about what has been happening more recently.
Yes.
I would like to say, I'm going to call him C.
Okay.
C, if you're out there, I'm very sorry for how this went down, because I know you got blamed for it.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Poor C.
We're sorry, C.
When I was staying at the Triplets house, there was at one point, there was like 2 instances that I remember. I would be getting changed at the Triplets house. The door would swing open, and there'd be no one on the other side.
Peeper.
Exactly.
You got a peeper ghost.
You think creeper, but I would be facing the door, and the door would just swing open.
And it wasn't Mr. S.
It was not Mr. S. It was not any of the kids. It was not anyone else staying in the house.
Okay.
There'd be absolutely nobody there. And it wouldn't like crack open. It would like swing open to like about halfway. And I would finish getting changed, and I would go to Mr. S. I would be like, hey, this happened. I would tell him what happened. And the first time he was like, that's weird. Maybe you didn't lock the door all the way. And he talked to me, and I didn't like this man that much. But
there's a lot to not like about Mr. S.
But he would talk to me and be like, hey, if this happens again, you have to tell me. It's okay to tell me.
That part we like about Mr.
Yes.
S. Yeah.
But like, if the door opens and when you're getting changed and when people know you're getting changed, you can't just let that go. Please come to me or the mom and tell them if this happens again.
Okay.
Because I told him, like, I didn't see anybody, but I was getting changed and the door opened. And I was looking towards, like, not directly at the door, but in the general direction of the door. And I could see nobody was there. And so I kind of brushed it off, and I genuinely thought maybe I didn't close the door and someone opened the front door. And, like, the wind, because that happened,
made the door
like,
open.
Swung it open a bit.
Yeah.
And then it was, like, a few days later, I was getting changed. And I was looking at the door this time because I was still, like, kind of unnerved because I was, like, a kid and I didn't like, people might see me, you know?
Yeah.
Like I would get changed with my friends, but, like, people I don't know, you know? And I literally watched the door go from completely closed to being about, like, this much ajar. Nobody on the other side. And it creeped me out. So I got finished getting changed, and I went to him, and I think his wife was there at the time, and I was like, I was getting changed in the room, and I think someone, like, opened the door and, like, creaked it open and was looking at me when I was getting changed, but I didn't see who it was. I was very unnerved by it. And he and her had gone and they yelled at the son and like the son's friends and was like, are you watching her getting changed? Like, that's not okay. You cannot do that sort of thing. If there's a girl around, I don't care if you're interested. And they tore into them. But the entire time I was like, but there was nobody on the other side of the door because there was broad daylight and they had a very open house.
Right.
I could see clearly on the other side of the door there was nobody there when the door opened.
In their defense, one of the friends of C was a known bully to her.
Yeah.
Okay.
He was not there.
Oh, he wasn't there.
He was not there.
Okay.
It was C and J. J was a very nice kid.
Okay.
Never did anything creepy, nothing.
But
He
I
was a
can
very
see
stupid.
how as a dad, you're like, not, but like your first instinct is not ghost, right? Your first instinct is,
You're like, what are you doing, son?
there are two adolescent boys in this house right now, and I need to make sure they understand that this isn't appropriate. And as much as you may not have liked him for other reasons, I have to give him props for that, because that's super important to put that into the boys' minds of like, no, this is not okay. You can't do that.
But he tore into them for it because he genuinely, I think, thought that they had looked in. But they, the entire time, were very like, I didn't do it. I don't know what you're talking about. Like, I wouldn't do that. That's because it was their sister's bedroom I was getting changed in. They were like, I wouldn't look in there. I don't want to see what's going on in there. Ooh, girls are gross kind of like deal. And the only thing that has ever stuck out about that memory to me was I saw the door opening and no one was ever on the other side, because it wasn't like a black void on the other side.
Right.
It was a very clear hallway with the door just slowly creaking open.
Yeah, and nothing. That's
nothing on the other side.
Okay, so that's stuff that happened outside of your childhood home.
Yeah.
The shit house, as we affectionately refer to it.
Affectionately, yeah.
It is accurate. Jen knows.
Very accurate, yes.
Then we moved here. So Emily had said that she felt things sometimes that come in to look around and then leave. And then Emily decided she was going to move out and move in with her friends
at the
time.
Yeah.
And she moved to the apartment in Columbia, Maryland.
Hey, ghosties. We are going to have to hit pause on this episode because it ended up being just a little longer than anticipated. And the story was just too good to really cut anything out. So we decided that we were going to make this a two-parter. So if you are interested in hearing the rest of Emily's story, please tune in next Wednesday for part 2. Next week, Emily is going to talk about what happened after she moved out on her own, how her boyfriend even started to experience some of the activity that surrounds her, and how maybe some of the moments were a little more protective rather than threatening. So tune in next week. As always, thank you so much for hanging out with us. We absolutely would love if you could go leave us a rating or a review or subscribe wherever you listen. Check us out on YouTube. Comment on our videos. Sorry, I don't usually do the outro by myself, and I'm kind of lost without my bestie. But check us out. Follow us on social media, Not My Ghost Podcast. Email us your stories. We know you have them at notmyghostpodcast@gmail.com. And remember, as you walk through your own childhood memories, keep this in mind. If it's not your ghost, it's not your problem. Until next time, stay spooky and stay skeptical.